Wow, it's doing a pretty good job. Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do the first look on this brand new Roborock Q10 X5 Plus robot vacuum cleaner. So I did buy this robot with my own money, wasn't paid for this video. It does retail for $500, that's full price right now. Hopefully this will go on sale, but it is really new right now. Now they sell an X5 Plus and an S5 Plus. I'm recommending the S5 Plus because it has sonic vibration, which helps it mop a little bit better. Right now that's 50 bucks more. Other than that, they're exactly the same. Now I will put a link to it in the show description notes, or there may be a link pop up in the video. If you click on one of those links, the product won't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these honest reviews. So we're going to put it together. We're going to connect it to our phone, download the app, map our house, and do the first cleaning. Okay, here's everything that comes in the box. We get a power cord, this little piece of plastic we're going to put on the floor. This is the auto empty dock station. Here's the robot. Now we're going to take some of this tape off. There's a bunch of tape on it. It has a sensor in the front. I love this robot has LiDAR navigation. That's going to do a really good job of mapping our house. The Roborock app I really do like because the user interface is really nice. Two physical buttons. We've got the bumper technology. Now since it has LiDAR navigation, it is able to map our house and it's going to vacuum and mop in straight lines. We go around back. Here's the dustbin. So here, as it vacuums your house, everything's going to go into this dustbin. And when it's done vacuuming, it's going to back up to the docking station, and then another vacuum is going to kick on in the base station and suck everything up into the dust bag. So you simply have to replace that dust bag every couple months. Now this also serves as the water tank. So right here, you're going to fill this up with water. You can put a little bit of Roborock solution, not very much though. Here's the filter for the dustbin. Once in a while, you will have to clean this filter. It's reusable, but you got to wash it and let it dry. And there's instruction right there on that. And there's where it's going to auto empty out the back. There's the actual water tank part, and there's the dustbin part. It's got like a little flapper. Again, here it does have a water pump where it's going to pump water onto the mop pad. On the bottom side of the robot, this mop pad you can take on and off. Here's where it's going to wet the mop pad. Now this is, you're going to be responsible for taking this mop pad off after it's dirty. And you got to put it in your laundry, slide it off, put this in your laundry, get it nice and clean. And then when you want to mop your floors again, you're going to slide it on. Now, this does not have any sonic vibration, okay? But it can lift the mop pad up and down. It can press down on the floor with the mop pad, but there's no vibration. And here's the mechanism. And again, there's where it wets it, but anytime you want to mop your floor, you're going to want to pre-wet the entire mop pad because water coming out just this little port right here, it's not going to get the entire mop pad wet, but it can keep it wet once it's wet. It's easier. So slide this in. This just held on with Velcro. And then this just slides on. And again, it can raise and lower this mop pad when it senses carpet because it has a carpet sensor right here. So that's a carpet sensor that helps it during mapping. There's a side brush. This is the anti-tangle side brush. It can't extend it or anything, but it does help with long hairs. These are the cliff sensors, so it doesn't fall down your stairs. Those need to be cleaned every so often. These are the drive wheels. This wheel just spins free. Now here is the brush roller. It's a single brush roller, but they do have a comb right here that does try to help get the long hairs off of the brush roller. But you will get a little bit of hair wrap. Again, this all comes assembled. I'm just taking it apart to show you. Now there is a sensor on the front. This does not take pictures. It's just got reactive tech. It's going to help with obstacles that are low to the ground, but if it doesn't recognize all the obstacles, so it could run over like a small toy or a small cable. Now it does have the bumper on it. If something is heavy enough to hit the bumper, it will tell the robot to go the other way. Or if it's tall enough and the LiDAR picks it up, it will avoid it. Two physical buttons on the top here, home button and a power button. This is also a start and a pause button. Let's measure how tall the robot is. It is right at 3 7/8 inches tall, with almost 14 inches. This little piece of plastic, that's just two-sided tape. You can tape this down and then put the base station around it so the mop pad doesn't get your floor wet. Around back, the power cord is 2-prong and it's 6 feet long. We got to plug it in right here. There's a little bit of cord storage, not much. Make sure you plug it in all the way. Now on the bottom, if you do get a plug, you can, I like that this is clear so you can see if that is plugged up. Take the screws off and you can unplug it. You're going to plug this into 120 volts, 60 hertz. When it's charging, it's 0.4 amps. When it's dust collecting, 5 amps. Base station is 10¼ inches tall. Front to back with the plastic, it's about 11, but the base station itself is about 7. And left to right, the plastic, 12.5, 8. Again, around back, this is where it's going to auto empty. This is where it's going to charge. And this is like a sensor to help it back up. Okay, let's connect it to our smartphone. We're going to turn it on. Press this button for about 3 seconds. Okay, that light is flashing and there's going to be a tune. I've got the docking station plugged in. You could have docked it. That would also turn it on. Okay, we got to get the Roborock app. You got to, if you don't have a username and password, you got to create one. Hit the little plus button. Give it access to your camera, and now we're going to use it to scan that code. All right. Now we have to, it says press and hold the power and dock buttons. Press and hold these at the same time until you hear Wi-Fi resetting.
Ready for network setup.
Let up. I heard next. Select your Wi-Fi and then put your Wi-Fi password in there. It only works on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Okay, so now click this connected to device's Wi-Fi. Click this little join button. What's going to happen is this robot is transmitting a Wi-Fi. My tablet, my iPad Air, or your iPhone, or even your Samsung phone, it should automatically connect to this Wi-Fi, set it up, and then your tablet should go back to normal Wi-Fi, and then the robot will be connected to normal Wi-Fi. Hopefully this is all automatic, but I have had to manually do that. So far it looks like it's working pretty good.
Wi-Fi connected.
All right, click enter device, agree. Okay, you're in. Robot's done. Let's put it on the dock. All right, again, make sure when you dock it, you hear the word charging.
Charging.
Now, I am going to take this mop. You don't have to, but I'm going to take the mop pad off for, it's going to map my house. So.
Mop cloth mount removed. Charging.
All right, let's walk through these. You can always change these later, but click the next arrow. Next. I have carpet. I have multi-home. You don't have to select multi-home if you don't, but you can do up to 4 levels. Make sure this is on. This thing will start in the middle of the night, so I check all of those. Next. Map saving. I don't know why that's not on. That should be on. Otherwise, you won't have maps, which... There is an update. Now, you don't have to do it right now, but I am. I do think the updates are important. So let's go ahead and update it. Turn auto update on and click update now. It says improves map zone, adds voice for cleaning modes, fix buzz. So yeah.
Updating firmware. This may take 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, that took a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes. This should go away. Okay, so now we're at the home screen. It says there's a voice pack update. We can do that. Those are pretty quick. All right, back. All right, let's do a quick mapping. It's going to go around your, open your doors, put your furniture kind of where it goes. It's going to randomly go around your house, and then it should come back to the docking station. Now, this is one of the funnest parts. Sit back and enjoy this real-time map as it's created. It's just such a cool thing how this LiDAR works. It's going to show you in real time where the robot's at and the map. I mean, this is so cool. Try to stay away from it. Don't walk around it or anything. But yeah, doors are open, lights on. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I would like, maybe about 10-15 minutes. You may get a pop-up saying to edit. Let's go to map management. Edit the map. Okay, so here's where we're going to do map editing. We want to divide. So let's click divide. I want to divide this room. You got to move that red line. If it's dotted, it won't divide it. So let's divide. You can merge room or combine rooms, name them, and then floor type is important. Let's do the corner test. We want vertical. So these flat mopping pads, you want them to mop in the direction of your floor. And you can tell it, that's the direction of my floor on the map. This will come into play later when we do floor direction. So take your time, go through, get the floor types, combine, names are important also. Let's add a no-go zone. So click the add. There's the red box. You can move it around. I know it's going to struggle over here in this room. There's a computer. Now you can make it as big or as little as you want. Zoom your map in. You can't put it next to the docking station though. And then click there. And you can fine tune these later. You can do click no-go. You can do a no mop zone or an invisible wall where it won't go past that wall. And you can fine tune these later if you see it mopping someplace that you don't want. Threshold, you can set a threshold, but these things really struggle with thresholds. But we'll test it out right there, a little yellow line. Carpet, I typically have the robot clean the entire house a couple times before I fine tune the carpet. Erase, cleaning sequence is really important. I like this. So when it does a full house clean, where do you want it to start? If I'm sleeping or if I'm getting up in the morning, have maybe it clean here and work its way towards the bedrooms. That way you're kind of crossing paths. So you can pick this cleaning sequence and you can change it anytime you want. All right, we can erase. I've never had to erase an area. All right, we're good. Let's go back. Now here's our map. Here's our front page. When you want to, but let's go through the settings and then I'll go through cleaning. So click the little settings button, cleaning history is where you find your cleaning. Put it on a schedule. The number one thing I tell people, put your robot on a schedule, have it clean your entire house once a week. Maintenance, this is where you're going to see when it's time to change the filters, clean filters, and how to reset that timer. This is an important setting. Carpet cleaning settings. Avoid, ignore, cross, rise. Rise is the default. That means when it senses carpet, it lifts the mop pad. These others, cross means it will only cross. Ignore means it's going to mop carpet, which you don't want. Avoid means it will not go anywhere near carpet. Floor cleaning settings. Clean along floor direction. I think that's important. Auto empty settings. Auto empties on, regular, or frequent. I like frequent. Let's do every 15 minutes. Obstacle avoidance is on. I recommend leaving that on. Map management, we've already been there. Robot voice, you can change the volume. More settings. Do not disturb, make sure that's on. Off-peak charging is off. Child lock's off. Square feet and robot positioning. If you don't know where the robot is,
I'm here.
Yeah, it'll tell you where it's at. Remote control I've never used. Device information and firmware upgrade. Earlier we turned that on auto. There you go. We're all set. So now here's your home page. Now, if you need to connect this to a smart speaker, you got to go back to like this home page. Click your little profile button, smart speaker. There's where you can share it with those third-party smart speakers. This one works the best as far as it's just in the app. These, you got to go to those apps. Device, Q. All right, so when you want to do a full house clean, you can click this. There is no AI setting, so you can either do vacuum and mop, vacuum only, mop only. This is important. Vacuum, then mop. That way the mop pad's not wet. You could have it vacuum and then install this later. And then you can customize each room individually. There's so many possibilities if you take your time, and you can say, I want that room at a certain wetness, that room at a certain vacuum level. Let's go back. Vacuum and mop. We've got 5 levels of suction. Now, 3 levels of water amount, but it says mop mount's not installed. That's because I don't have, and I did pre-wet it. So this is very important again, because that water is only going to come down right here. And if you don't wet it, it's only going to get about that much wet. 1 or 2 cycles. Oh, we have a deep clean. This pattern is nice, this deep cleaning pattern. If you know you have some mud in a room, you're going to want to use that, which I know I do. We can do an individual room, so you can select the rooms you want to clean and it'll clean them in that order. We can do a zone. It's going to have a blue box. Move the blue box where you want. Add another zone. You can add as many as you want, and it'll clean the zones in the order and how you want. So there you have it. Pretty quick, simple. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. I've just done so many of these. I think I tend to talk too fast on these, but I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna have to get let's do some cleaning. Let's go fill this up. It does have a little water pump in it. And we got to fill this up with water. Yeah, it doesn't hold a whole lot of water, but you don't have to fill it up a lot all the time. All right, it's full. And you could put a little solution, but it's just such a small quantity of water. It would take like drops of solution. All right, let's install it. You can see the water tank is on one side and the dustbin, they're completely separated. All right, drop it in.
Dustbin and water tank combo unit installed.
Again, I pre-wet this.
Pause.
Oops. You should be able to install this. With two hands, it's easier. Should just slide on and make sure it clicks on. All right, and then you can just dock it yourself. Make sure it says charging.
Charging.
We're going to see how it cleans up this world famous Just a Dad corner cleaning test with muddy paw prints. Okay, let's give it a job. Let's do room, corner test, vacuum and mop, suction power balanced. I can change it on the fly, but I want water volume high, 2 passes, deep cleaning because we got some muddy paw prints. That's it. And then let's tell it to go clean that room. Just press the play button.
Starting selective room cleaning.
So it's going to undock and travel to that area. I've got water, mop pads installed and pre-wet. Now the mop pad is lifted right now, and it will lower it when it gets to the place. So we're going to see how it does in the world famous Just a Dad Studios corner cleaning mud test obstacle avoidance. Okay, we're going to see how the Roborock Q10 X5 does cleaning this room. It looks like it might have avoided that cable. We got some muddy paw prints, a shoe, and corner test cleaning. Now it is mopping and vacuuming at the same time. All right. Now it doesn't have a side brush that it can extend into the corner, but it's doing a good job of vacuuming. All right. Now it is able to go under some furniture. It's not super tall. There's the mop. So it is. Oops, it did run that cable over a little bit. I was hoping it would avoid that cable. There's the mop pad. It is pushing that mop pad down. All right, so it did run the cable over, which we'll have to stop it, grab the cable, and tell it to go. Okay. We'll see how it does with a shoe. All right, vacuuming and mopping, doing a good job. The first thing it does is the perimeter of the room, and then it goes back and forth and makes the straight lines. And then in the app, we can see right where it is and where it has cleaned already. I really like that feature. And again, there's the mop pad that is down. And when it senses carpet, it can raise that mop pad. All right, we're starting to mop the muddy paw prints. We're going to check the obstacle avoidance. So it is sensing that shoe, and now it's going to go around that shoe. We can see in the app that it did sense that obstacle. It doesn't take a picture, but it tells you there is an obstacle there that it recognized. Now it's going to come back and get these muddy paw prints. Wow, it's doing a pretty good job. Wow, that did an excellent job. Okay, so since we're on this intense cleaning, its second pass, it will do the outer edges. Again, not bad considering it doesn't have a side brush. That's an extra expense, but it is definitely getting this floor clean. Wow. And I'm actually shocked how well it cleaned. I thought the S5 Plus has that vibrating mop pad, which does a good job, but I don't know if you need that. This thing did such a good job. Again, pre-wet the mop pad, highest water level settings, what I got it on. The obstacle avoidance is going to be very minimal. Just basic stuff that's programmed into it. I'm sure it probably wouldn't recognize a toy. We could try. If it's not programmed into the software inside the robot, it just does an okay job of avoiding stuff. I'm learning more and more about this obstacle avoidance. It has more to do with the onboard, what they've programmed it to sense, than the obstacle itself, if that makes any sense. Wow. Now it is pushing that mop pad down. It's not vibrating it. I don't know how much force it's using to push it down, but it's doing a pretty good job of mopping. Now it's going to go back and forth this way now because I'm on pass 2. And again, there it is in live view. There's the obstacle. And again, I can do a reclean. I could tell it to reclean an area. I could, if it's bothering me, I could hit skip and it would go to the next room. Long press that if I want to stop it. This robot has a place. I mean, these aren't your fancy robots with docking stations, but man, they are figuring out this budget line. Now, $400 is not that. You can get a pretty nice robot with a docking station. I do suspect this will come down in price. But that mud is gone. Now, it wasn't dried on. It was sort of dried on, but it's going to struggle with really dried on mud. It will struggle with. That has to be scrubbed. There's just no way around it. I'm sorry, this thing's $500 right now. I knew $400 sounded cheap. Wait for it to go on sale. It's not a buy at $500. But if you end up getting it for $500, you're going to have a great user experience. Yeah, I'm sure it's not going to avoid the toy. And I've got it on this really, where it's going really close in the pattern. Maybe, no. I mean, it wants to, but sometimes if it can't recognize it, it just gets too close. But maybe it is this time. Okay. I was wrong. We probably won't get a pop-up on the screen. Those require it to recognize it. So I'm not sure we'll get a pop-up here. But we'll see. Oh, we did. I tell you, just when you think you know, you don't know. Identify the obstacle. It doesn't tell you what it is. It just says an obstacle. So that takes more software power. But we did get a little pop-up. I was surprised. Some robots, even some Roborocks don't tell you that that's an obstacle. So pretty impressive, actually. Yeah, mud is gone. This floor is clean. Let's pause it.
Pause.
We'll check the auto empty. It hasn't used much water at all.
Dustbin and water tank combo unit removed.
Wow. There. So, yep. Let's check for long hair wrap. Look at that. That's all the mud. That's pretty incredible. Long hair wrap. I suspect we'll have a little bit. There's that comb. Oh, no long hair wrap. Oh, that's amazing. It's really difficult with these single brush rollers that are one piece. That's a good design. That does prevent long hairs from wrapping around. Whoa. Don't want to drop my new robot.
Dustbin and water tank combo unit installed.
All right. We're going to tell it to go home. This is clean.
Returning to dock.
Now it's going to come back to the base station, auto empty. It may not. I may have to do it manually. Again, I thought that was going to beat it by a mile. I got to do more testing. Because the only difference is this sonic vibration. I mean, that's the S5 Plus. And its mop pad has the things that move. So the mop pad would be different too. And there's a little motor to vibrate that. This one does not have that, but it does push the mop pad down. So, comparison video coming. Maybe I'll do some dry mud. And then there's these little cheaper models, these Q7s. And they've got 2 models of the Q7s. I mean, just, there's like 4 models. And then they got each one of these with and without an auto empty bin. I highly recommend an auto empty bin. I mean, it's just, I don't know. That's like the bare minimum I want. I want LiDAR navigation and an auto empty bin. I guess I could take the mop pad off myself and wash it. But I do prefer these ones that wash the mop pads. You can get the L1040, the L40 for $500. That's the same price as this.
Charging.
Right now, the Roborock Q Revo S is $459. It's a better robot than this. It has a base station that has a clean water tank, dirty water tank, washes the mop pads for you, auto empties the dustbin. Yeah, this is a better buy because it has spinning mop pads that it can lift up and down. But nothing wrong with this one over here. That's just a high price for what you're getting. This line was just released, so they're not on sale yet. Now again, I did buy these with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. And so I can say that's just too much to pay for it right now. Wait for it to go on sale. It is a good robot though. So if you do end up paying full price, like I'm saying, you're going to have a good user experience and it's going to be working for you. Task complete. We can see the cleaning history. There it is. I cut it short. I'll do some carpet testing with it. I'll be comparing it to the Roomba, to the Wifi X10. But again, you could get a Dream L40 for $500. No, $600, I think. The Mova P10 Pro was $500. Wow. See, that's That's a far superior robot than this. So I did get the brand new Wifi E25. I'll compare it to the E28. Then I'll also be comparing it to the Wifi S1 and S1 Pro. I'm getting set up for all of those testing procedures right now. So let me know what you think of this video. Again, this is just the first look. I like it, not the price. So hopefully it goes on sale. Hopefully I showed you. I do have links in the description that robots that I do approve of that seem to be on sale. They typically are a little bit older when they're on sale, so these are brand new. Again, I just really appreciate everybody's support. Let me know what you think. I've been getting a lot of requests to review this one. That's the brand new Curve X. That's a $1,500 robot, but it's an amazing robot. Lots of bells and whistles. So again, just thanks everybody. Again, if you purchase my product using those links, the products don't cost you anymore, but I get a small commission from the sale. It's just a way of helping support my channel. I really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.